When you want to create something and you want to make a big difference in this world, you should put your ego aside. My name is Eman Nooruddin. One of the biggest difficulties I have in introducing myself is I don't know what to call myself. Am I a therapist? Am I a trainer? Am I a social media person? What is it that I do? The biggest moment in my life would be when I was studying mathematics, and I graduated with a mathematics degree. I applied to my master's, and I was supposed to go and take my master's in accounting. During that time, it was a few weeks, so as I was getting ready to go take my master's, I decided that that's not what I wanted to do. I realized what I wanted to do was teach. Why I say that was the hardest thing is because I wanted to teach, yet how am I going to tell my dad, who had all these dreams about me going into accounting, because I come from a very business related family, that I want to go and teach. I called him up, I told him this is what I want to do, this is my passion, this is what I think I want to be, this is what's the right thing for me. And he said okay, he closed the phone, and then later on, few hours later, he called me up. He said, go ahead, come back to Bahrain and let's see what we can do from there. This is when my journey started, really, because that was the first time I actually listened to my instinct. Me and him together opened a training facility, and it's been 10 years now. And in that training facility, I taught so many self-development courses. And even though I became very successful at what I was doing, as I was doing what I dreamt of doing, if you want to make a dream come true, you need to do something about it. And there is no dream too big or no dream that is not accessible. The more you stretch your mind to get it, the more you'll be able to get it. I started out with Dream Society. I knew I wanted to do more. I knew I wanted to create. And I knew the only way I could create something that would last and that would make a big difference was to do Dream Society. So we created this thing that allowed people and gave people hope. And that anticipation for that dream to come true and then have memories to live on upon the dream is what we were able to create. This is when I started taking modules in psychotherapy and psychology, understanding how the mind works, taking NLP, I took Pre-K. During this time, social media started coming up, and I started with Twitter. But with Twitter, I was just being myself, and I did not have an intention to do anything else but be myself. And what happened was, then came Instagram. And if you see my Instagram account, I started just posting things about my life. And then I remember one of my first posts, it's not the first one, it's I think the third or fourth one. I posted a picture of my son doing his thing. And I actually wrote something about if we do this and this, about being positive and about having hope and about creating hope. And the amount of responses I got at that point was tremendous. I remember I got maybe 20 comments other than emails and other than phone calls about questions about how the mind worked. People wanted me to solve their questions about their kid. My kid is doing this, I'm doing this, what can I do, how can I solve it? And at that point, I think I had like 30 followers. So within that 30 followers, most of them actually responded to it, and I had a positive impact. I was moving a lot. I learned at a very early age to learn about people and their humanity. Remember, when I was living outside of Bahrain, I was the other person. I started helping other people achieving their dreams. So one of those projects was the WCCI. So I met MJ, which is this American woman that's been working with refugees and has been doing a lot of work with abused women and domestic violence and human trafficking. And she wanted to create something in Bahrain, and she was lost. we were able to create WCCI, which is Women Counseling, Crisis Counseling International, where we have a hotline for abused women to call into. We get called into hospitals to be there for them. So we become crisis counselors. People just want to know that you're there for them. That's the most thing that they wanted. Anyone can do that. And with WCCI, we were able to create that. Right now, it's been going on for a year. We've been working with a few hospitals, and hopefully we'll work more in Bahrain with more hospitals. We've helped thousands of women, and that enough is satisfaction. A lot of the times, being from the Middle Eastern country, we tend to look at the workers as just workers. We forget that they are people. We forget that they have stories. We forget that where they came from, and trying to put that together and come to a place so that people understand these laborers, people understand these domestic workers, give them what they need to give them, allow them, give them their dignity. Basically, again, it's all about giving people their dignity. I now have a clinic, a therapy clinic, where we allow people to come in so I can actually make the change one-to-one. I'm a mother of 3, and I have a wonderful, wonderful husband. And since I met, which is before Dream Society, it was when I first created the training company. And since he's been there for me from the beginning, it's his encouragement, it's his, because obviously we have people that are against us. So what are you doing? You can't do this. It's just stick to your dreams. Don't move on to other things. So every time I traveled with my in-laws or with my mom and dad or with my husband to Germany, I could do a few things with them. I wanted to do something bigger, and I was sitting with them in a fundraiser for WCCI, and I was telling them about my experience, and they said, why don't we do a fundraiser for them? And that's where the film festival came up, and we did the film festival for them, and we fundraised for them. And during the fundraising, we were doing a film festival where we didn't know anything about films. I saw a movie about refugees, and I wanted to bring that to Bahrain. I contacted the producer. He ended up living in Bahrain for some odd reason. I don't know why. He's living in Bahrain temporarily. And he said, yes, I'll do it, anything you need. And I said, thank you. I want the 2 people that are in the documentary to come. He said, done. I told him, okay, there's other movies we want to bring to Bahrain. Can you contact them? He said, done. And we were able to make a whole celebration, a whole weeks of celebration of international award-winning, Emmy-winning directors coming to Bahrain, giving themselves for free. We didn't pay them, and for this one cause. And that shows that at the end of the day, people are willing to give. People can give. People want to have the opportunity to give. They just don't know how. And when you lead them to it, a lot of people are encouraged and want to do it. And all we did was literally just ask. We emailed them, asked them. They said yes. We did all the arrangements for them. Somehow they had faith that we're not going to screw them over, that we would take care of them. They came to Bahrain, they made such a huge impact. They went to schools, they talked to schools, so it became bigger than just a fundraiser for the refugee camp. It became about humanity. We called it Building Bridges, so we want to build bridges. We want to show the humanity again, to the essence of what I really feel that my gift is. When we went to Greece, we went to a shelter for unaccompanied minors, and in that shelter I was talking to this random Syrian boy. And as I was talking to him, he was saying, are you the Bahraini that worked in Hamburg? I heard about you and all of the things that you do. And so this is when I realized the big impact that I've made. And then as obviously we were talking about fundraising, the newspapers, the magazines that we got involved with started calling me a philanthropist. And I never in my life did I have that label or thought that I was doing much, because in my mind I was doing the little that I can. I was visiting a refugee camp, yes, but I was talking to people. I wasn't building them houses, I wasn't giving them jobs, I was just being there for them. And the one thing that I've learned, that in all the charity work that I've done, in all of my mentoring work, in all of my classes that I've trained, in all of my social media, people just want to be heard. People want to be seen as human beings, and people just want their dignity. And I think through the small things that I've done, I have created that.